We're live on YouTube. We are live on Rumble. Music is going. All right, start us off, good sir.
Hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH for short. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for interesting and important happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you didn't know you had. The source of our information comes from the website, thisday.com. On thisday.com. Excuse me. For links to the source and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar description below. All links gathered throughout the show will appear post-livestream. Anyway, I'm MTM, and today I'm joined by...
I'm Aoxander, and we also have Erickson in the live studio audience.
And today is December 28th.
Yes. So, yeah, and specifically it's Thursday, aka Thursday. So
Thursday
yeah.
It is.
So, let's jump into the history. Do you want to start us off?
418, Saint Boniface, I believe, Boniface, begins his reign as the Catholic Pope.
Ah, so it's another Pope Day. So... And, like, I know that you don't really understand that, but, like, there's a lot of history that starts with somebody's beginning or end or something involving the Pope. There's a lot of things, like, the Pope is, like, the first article. So it's just, like, we call it a Pope Day.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're still doing the 3 for 3, so you got 2 more.
Okay, cool. Roman armies proclaim a Majorian emperor... Is that how you say that? Major Majorian Emperor
name.
of the
They proclaim Majorian, that's his name.
Oh, Majorian Emperor of the Western Roman Empire. Gotcha. How
Yeah, no, can you imagine, like, in today's world, like, if all of a sudden the frickin' SEAL Team 6 is just, like, all of a sudden, like, Vermin Supreme is now the president of the United States. Like, that's essentially...
everyone gets a pony and a giant shoe to wear on their head.
Hell yeah. Well, like, you know, I'm like, you know, with the pony, I wonder if I can trade that in for cash value. The whole mandatory toothbrushing laws, that sounds like bigger government, like the whole, like, you know, TSA episode with South Park when they had, like, the security agents on the toilets. You know, now you now you have, like, government officials in your bathroom. Make sure you brush your teeth, and don't forget to floss! If you don't floss, I'm throwing you in prison. Anyway... So what else do we got here?
A new church devoted to Saint Peter the Apostle is built by Edward the Confessor in 1065, later called the Westminster, consecrated in London, rebuilt in the 13th century. So that is the origin of Westminster Abbey.
Ah, all right.
Very, very famous place, yeah.
We also have here in 1537, French King Francis I issued decree to booksellers and printers requiring them to deposit their work in the King's Library. This became the world's first legal depository requirement. So any book that was made, you have to make a copy specially for his library. Which, you know, that sounds pretty cool, you know? So, I mean, I myself have a book in the Library of Congress.
You do, really?
Yeah, I do, actually. It's copywritten and all that rigmarole, so.
Oh.
But I urge people not to buy it because the publisher I used completely screwed me.
Really?
So,
and you don't get any money off of it?
No, I don't. It was, yeah. Anyway, well, we've just been joined by...
The Golden Moon.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. What else do we got here? 1612, we have the first observation of Neptune. Galileo observed and recorded a fixed star without realizing it was a planet. So, yeah, so he thought it was just a star up there, and it turned out to be a planet.
That's cool.
Yeah. And, I believe... Actually, no, that's my second one. And then 1614, a sperm whale was beached at Nordwijk. That's an interesting thing to document. Like, Nordwijk. Like, so I guess Norwegian something or other?
Somewhere.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, 1614, they're like, oh, a whale was beached.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing to document back then, you know? Because that's more of a modern day, oh, the environmentalists, oh, the animals, save the whales. Like, you know? So, but anyway, back to you, Mr. MTM.
Poor Richard's Almanac, 1732, Benjamin Franklin, one of the greatest inventors of this country, under the pseudonym Richard Saunders, begins the publication of Poor Richard's Almanac. Clever man. Has his cake and eats it too.
Yeah, and see, that's interesting though. I see, like, Poor Richard's Almanac, impoverished Dick. Because Dick is a nickname for.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. Oh goodness. 17. We're moving on here.
Yeah.
Before I have a laughing fit. 1767. King TOCNS, crowned king of. Is that how you say that? TOCNS.
TOCNS.
Yeah. I don't really. Thai is hard language for me. It's the king of Thailand, and it establishes Thonburi as his capital.
Yeah. Pronouncing things correctly is not the focus of the show.
Well, no, Thai is particularly hard because it doesn't. Thai and I think Vietnamese as well don't have a root language. They're their own unique Asian language, whereas Korean, Japanese, and Chinese are like the three common languages in Asia. Are that are mostly spoken in the West don't have root languages. China being the.
Now it wasn't. Wasn't Thailand Siam?
I mean, they might have.
Yeah, it was. I just looked it up. Yeah.
Good pull.
Well, I know that the king and I, the king of Siam and everything. Like Thailand became Siam, so this is confusing. 1767, talking about Thailand, but Siam didn't become Thailand. Hold on a second. When did Siam become Thailand?
That's a good question.
1939. So this was
wow.
Well before.
So this was way before that. Yeah, yeah.
So why are they proclaiming themselves king of Thailand when it's still called Siam? That's confusing. I guess maybe they put that in there just to make things easier, but now it's not a historically accurate document.
Yeah. Everybody in the comments write to thisdayinhistory.com and make sure you include a nerd emoji in your writing and be like, actually, you're wrong.
Dude, the amount of times we've caught this source.
Yeah, so many times, bro.
Oh man, dude, they didn't even I remember freaking Little Miss Grimm told me one time that it was Genghis Khan's birthday, and I looked at the source. They didn't even mention it, not highlighted. It's not even there. So it's just wow. So. But anyway, what else do we got here?
Okay, very important French event coming up right here. This is something very important we need to talk about. 1781, Comte de Romoco and Nicolas Leclerc, the last generals to be made Marshal of France by Louis the 16th before the Revolution.
Yeah. I love your pronunciation of Rochambeau. Oh, those Jaquois. What are we gonna do?
I'm in another server with some French boys who are on self-improvement and they do business and they love my French accent because it's so cursed.
Well, I tell you what, homeboy, I really wish somebody would have the same thing with my southern accent, but I know it's god awful. I'll tell you what. So.
Was that my 3? I think that was 3 for me.
Okay. 1821, actually no, 1816, the American Colonization Society organized. So that's, what is that? Because, we're no longer in the colonies or anything. Yeah. The ACS was formed in 1817, actually. Okay, so right there we have a discrepancy. Is it 1816 or 17? To send free African Americans to Africa as an alternative to emancipation in the U.S., so sending them back home.
Wow.
In 1822, the society established on the west coast of Africa a colony that in 1847 became the independent nation of Liberia. So we essentially, we basically made their form of Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. 1821, composer Gioacchino Rossini moved to Bologna in Papal States, which is now Italy. Now that's interesting because we all know that the Vatican, Vatican City is a sovereign nation now.
Right.
We all know, and also it's the highest crime rate per capita just because of its its population and all the pickpocketers and all that stuff. Now, When did Vatican City become a sovereign nation? I ask you. Does anybody know this answer?
You're not.
Couldn't tell you.
Actually, it was whoever the Pope was at the time, and Benito Mussolini had a talk, and that's when the Vatican became its own nation. It was a product of fascism, essentially.
Before World War II?
Just before. Somewhere in there, because Mussolini was, he was the idol to Hitler, as we all know, and everything. So that's really interesting. So, before that, there were papal states, there were disconnected regions, across Europe that fell under direct, church control. So, yeah.
I wonder how Mussolini agreed to that.
Well, let's see here. Why did Mussolini create Vatican City? Let's see this. The Lateran Treaty. Yeah. Okay, that's something. Did Mussolini create the Vatican City? The Lateran Treaty was signed between Pope Pius XI and Italian leader Benito Mussolini, declaring Vatican City as an independent state that became the world's smallest country in 1929. So, 10 years before.
Way before,
Yeah. Well, yeah. The independent state of the Vatican comes into existence. So, yeah, if anybody wants to read more on the history of the Vatican, let me add this in the underbar here. Vatican history. I have a link here for you. Let me add that here really quick. Badoop. Okay. Moving on up, what else do we got here? 1828, a 6.8 earthquake struck at Shigo, Japan, killing 30,000 people.
Whoa.
Holy crap. Yikes. So,
Give me the year again.
1828. Yeah. And then 1830. Sorry, what?
Yeah, that's a nasty one.
Yeah.
6.8 is.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
7 to 9 is
That's run.
the point where people it's the casualties are in the 3 figures to 4 figures.
Yeah.
Well, it really depends on where it hits, because the world's strongest earthquake does not necessarily the most lethal. Because the strongest earthquake, I think, occurred up in Alaska, but because of the low population density, I don't think even there was one fatality. So.
Yeah, and some places can develop earthquake immunity by having earthquakes multiple times.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because it creates hillside and bedrock foundation, and that stuff is immune to earthquakes.
Yeah. And I believe that was my 3. So back to you in 1832.
Huh. John C. Calhoun becomes first vice president to resign because of differences with President Jackson.
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of squabbling, with the, some really serious infighting with the founding fathers, which in one case, Alexander Hamilton killed somebody in a duel, right?
It was Hamilton? Was it Hamilton? Yeah. Well, Jackson killed a bunch of people in a duel. Jackson was he was very much a Chad and wanted everyone to know. That's why he carried around Old Hickory and beat the shit out of people with it.
Oh yeah, the stick.
There was this one guy. There's a famous story of this guy who tried to assassinate him with akimbo flintlock pistols. I guess because that's what they had at the time.
Yeah.
And both of them jammed.
Yeah.
So he's just standing there
Whoops, my
Jackson
bad.
just beat him up with the cane.
He just casually walks over there and beats him mercilessly with a wooden stick.
Yeah, a piece of hickory wood.
I wonder though if what you just said, because I just realized the correlation. Old Hickory. If that, I forgot who said it, but speak softly and carry a big stick.
That's Theodore Roosevelt.
Okay. So I wonder if that's what he was referencing.
Roosevelt was later.
Well, obviously Roosevelt was later, but I was wondering if he was referencing Old Hickory.
Oh.
Because
That's-
of what,
okay.
yeah, how it was used,
That's a good question. That'll be for the viewers to figure out. That's our little mystery for the viewers.
Yeah. Tell us that in the comment section. Let's get the viewers involved. Good choice. What else? Do we
All
got
right.
here?
The Second Seminole War between the U.S. and Native Americans begins with the Dade Massacre in Sumter County, Florida. Seminole fighters kill all 110 of U.S. Army troops under the Major Francis Langhorne Dade. Wow.
Nearly all. Nearly all.
Nearly all, excuse me.
Yeah. So, wow, that's a massacre.
It's a lot of scalps.
well, that's... We
Proclamation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proclamation of South Australia as a British province. Formal proclamation was read out near the Old Gum Tree in 1836. In what is now the Adelaide suburb of Glenelg North by Captain, later Rear Admiral Governor Sir John Hindmarsh.
Huh.
At least I guess that.
Huh. So that's pretty cool.
So yeah, the founding of Australia from prison island fishing colony to actual country and continent. Actually, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, and an
all
island.
one.
3 things at once.
And island. Yeah.
You got another 1836. That's pretty big, in my opinion.
Spanish recognizes the independence of Mexico.
Spain. Spanish
Spain.
is a language.
The Spanish recognized the independence of Mexico.
But that's
Spain
interesting because Spain, is the one who colonized and took over and forced their will upon them.
Mm-hmm.
So. But then 1846, Iowa became the 29th state of the U.S. So pretty cool. Happy birthday, Iowa. Yeah. And 3 years later, 1849, Jean-Baptiste Joly opened Tineriere Joly Berlin, the first modern dry cleaning shop in Paris. Hey!
Oh, good.
Wow, that's wild.
I know where to take my dry cleaning.
Well, I mean, that's what as MTM said, at the intro, like, answer questions you don't know you have. When was the first dry cleaning? It's just like, it's a random thing, but there you go, So, and in 1850, Rangoon in Burma was destroyed by a fire. So, yeah, that sucks. Back to you, sir.
1860, Harriet Tubman arrives in Auburn, New York, on her last mission to free slaves, having evaded capture for 8 years on the Underground Railroad.
Harriet Tubman, like, that's a name that doesn't go around enough today. Like, why isn't, like, all of these movements going around, like, talking about her,
Mm-hmm.
Like, does anybody even know who she is anymore? Seriously.
Wasn't she supposed to, like, get her own minting of, like, a coin or a currency?
I think so. I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see. Harriet Tubman coin.
Harriet Tubman coin? Yeah, check it out.
See if there's a coin here.
Commemorative coin.
There is a coin. Okay, yeah, there are coins of her. Multiple. Good. Oh,
That's well, the one at the one on the top right is a Sacagawea dollar, actually. I think.
This one, no, that's Tubman.
No, that's Tubman. I'm saying the first image, that's Sacagawea. No.
This one, it says Harriet Tubman, but it looks like Sacagawea. Oh,
that's Sacagawea, 100%. Like, you can tell from the face
Yeah.
and the hair, and she has a baby.
Yeah, that's Sacagawea. You're right. It even says right here, Harriet Tubman, $20 and other faces on money, blah blah blah. So they're showing Sacagawea. You're right. So, what else do we got here? 1867.
The United States claims Midway Island, the first territory annexed outside continental limits.
Ooh.
Midway Island. Where is that?
That is
Midway?
That's midway between Hawaii and Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's called that. Yeah, you've heard the Battle of Midway Atoll and all that stuff in World War II?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Gulf.
We lost it.
That was wild.
Got it back.
Yeah, but technically Midway is part of the Hawaiian island chain. So,
Interesting.
yeah. What else do we got here? 1869.
Still my turn? Okay.
Yeah, your third.
I thought that was three. William Finley Semple of Mount Vernon, Ohio, patents chewing gum.
Hey.
Only in Ohio.
Yeah.
Only in Ohio.
Ohio. Which is really interesting because we just talked about the old gum tree earlier, in Australia. And recently it was discovered, I forgot how many thousands of years old, but the first evidence of chewing gum was from some freaking 25,000 years ago or whatever. Like, it was some kind of tar. Like, they found some kind of tree tar or something in the teeth of some skeleton, and they're like, oh hey, they're using it as chewing gum or something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why would you put tree tar in your mouth? So,
Plug a cavity. I don't know.
I mean, maybe, Well, Anyway, speaking of that patent, going on to another one, in 1877, John Stevens applied for a patent for his flour rolling mill. All right.
Sounds important.
Yeah, well, you know, got to make bread, got to eat. And 365 days later, 1878, Pope Leo the 13th published encyclical Quod Apostoli Munieris, which is about socialism. So let's take a surface level scratch of that potential rabbit hole here. Let's see here. It's the second encyclical of Pope Leo the 13th. The encyclical opposes socialism, communism, and nihilism. Ooh, I'm all for that. Regarded as three aspects of a single ideology that is opposed to moral values, natural institutions, and the principles of authority and property. Wow, that's really topical for today. So,
yeah.
So let's see here. Topical, encyclical. How do you spell it? Encyclical. Let's see here. ENCYCLIKAL. Alright, there we go. And a quick question. Do you know what an encyclical is, MTM?
An encyclical? No, I couldn't tell you.
It's basically like the Vatican's form of a memo. Like, you know, like, oh, have you gotten the PTS report or whatever? Like, you know, in an office. It's just their form. It's a holy memo. It's like, oh, this is what we're focusing on this quarter or whatever. So, yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yep. 1887, John Leyden Jarvis became the first British racehorse trainer to be knighted for services to racing. Okay. Pretty interesting. Oh. And back to you, 1895.
Alrighty. Filmmakers, the Lumiere brothers, hold the first commercial film screening at Salon Indien du Grand Café, Paris.
Eat your heart out, Thomas Edison, inventor of the motion picture. No, you're not. Like,
I wonder what the film they showed was. Maybe like some man riding a giant bicycle.
I don't know. You know what? Let's look this up here. Let me just do the surface level scratch. I don't know. This is a. Wow! Look at that screen. Yeah, they even had cues back then. I'm not sure what the what this film was. They screened 10 short films, one of which was the arrival of a train at La Quillot Station. So it's just okay. So it's just a series of shorts.
Slice of life stuff, yeah.
Yeah. 1902, we have the first indoor pro football game. Syracuse defeated Philadelphia 6-0 at Madison Square Garden, New York City. All right. Yeah. And while that was happening, we also have the Trans-Pacific Cable Link, Hawaii to U.S. So, yeah, like telegraph cables or whatever, you know, you can communicate from the island. Can you imagine communicating, you know, from, like, mainland to an island without sending a letter, without using a ship or whatever? You're just hitting some machine. It's going through, you know, metal wires, and it's popping up on the other side, you know, and clicking what you're clicking, and they can decipher it. Like, you know... We take, you know, here we go, another one of these rants. We take technology for so much granted, but do you even know how the hell any of it works? You know? Mm-hmm. Like, what makes the microphone...
Not my job to know that.
Yeah, it's not, but, like, you know, like, it would help to understand. It's like you know, how does life, you know? Like, how does this work? You know?
Well, I've told you the story, and it's only along these lines of bewilderment with new technology of a buddy of mine way back in the day when faxes were just out. You didn't even have them in your offices. He quoted a job from Providence, Rhode Island to a guy down in Texas and had it faxed to a center down in Texas and had it delivered to him the same day. It blew his mind.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he had no idea.
I couldn't catch all that. Loon's kind of far away from your mic, so I didn't catch all of that.
Oh yeah, no, he's a little bit far, so let me move my mic a little bit closer to him.
Sorry about that. No, buddy of mine back in the day when faxes were just coming out, but nobody really had them. Quoted a job to a guy. He was in Providence, and this guy was in Texas, and he sent him a fax with a signed signature on the quote to a center down there that could receive taxes, and then had it hand delivered over to the guy the same day and blew his mind. And he got the job.
Nice.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the bewilderment of technology.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of makes you miss faxing.
Well, faxing might actually be. Well, actually, it is making a comeback because of how insecure the internet
faxing,
is.
not text. Did I say texting?
No, you said faxing.
Okay.
No, he said faxing.
Yeah.
You said faxing, MTM?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I thought he was. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Faxing, facsimile, messages are coming back because of the lack of security on the internet. Now everybody's just sending paper documents to each other again. So a lot of antiquated technologies are no longer antiquated just because of lack of security. It's kind of wild. So, but what else do we got here? Where are we anyway? What did we do? We came
1902. So 1904.
Go for it.
All right. The first daily wireless weather forecasts are published in London in 1904.
The weather today: cloudy, dreary, with a chance of misery.
Yeah.
Welcome to London. Right. Once a year, they get a visit by this magic orange ball in the sky, and they don't know what to do. Oh.
1905, the Intercollegiate Athletic Association, I believe that's how it's pronounced, of U.S. is founded and becomes the NCAA in 1910.
Well, what is NCAA?
NCAA? Well, that's the organization that runs all college sports.
But what's it stand for?
I'm trying to think of it as I'm talking. National Collegiate.
Let's see here.
National Collegiate Athletic Association.
There you go.
There we go. All right. Cool. What else do we have here?
1906, Ecuador adopts its second liberal constitution.
Huh. All right. Oh, you got another earthquake here. Whoa, that's a bigger number.
That's a huge earthquake. Strikes Messina, Italy in 1908 and kills nearly 80,000 people.
Yeah.
It doesn't say what it is on the Richter scale, does.
Well, the Richter scale didn't exist back then, so like the one we said before, that's a surmised. Like.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, the Richter scale didn't come to be until something like 1928 or whatever. So let's look that up actually. When did the Richter scale? 1934. It was later.
Yeah,
So
you're close.
yeah. We also have in 1912, the first municipally owned streetcars took to the streets in San Fran, Cali, as the San Francisco Municipal Railway started operation at Geary Street in Muni. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
Trolleys.
I know someone who lives in that area. Yeah. Yeah, in 1912 as well, the National Council of Young Israel convenes. That sounds kind of dangerous. I don't know. Once you I think of Young Turks, and so not the Young Turks, the news organization. I think about back in the day of the Armenian genocide. So, yeah. But then we have another one here. Why don't you take this one? In 1915.
San Francisco City Hall dedicated by Mayor James Rolfe.
Rolfe. That's
Rolfe.
just like Ed Nettie.
Today, the British cabinet recognizes the true nature of war by deciding to institute compulsory military service, with single men to be conscripted before married ones.
Ah.
Oh wow, pretty privilege strikes again.
Yeah, well, that was World War I was already underway. It started in 1914, so our government was chomping at the bit to get in there. And there's actually this whole theory that we're going to be talking about in ThEoD, and maybe even the Peanuts. But I think it was Cheese has this theory that the Lusitania was sunk by the British, knowing that the U.S. would think it was a German, submarine, and that would get us into the war, which it did. And, if anybody thinks that the Brits wouldn't do that, remember, the British intercepted the Zimmermann telegraph, which was a telegraph from Germany sent, for whatever reasons, through the Allied lines of communications in hopes of not being discovered. But guess what, bucko? It got discovered. But the Zimmermann telegraph was a telegraph from Germany to Mexico, trying to encourage them to go to war with the U.S. to distract us, to keep us out of the war in Europe. And Britain, of course, intercepted it, but instead of sending it to us immediately, they actually held on to it and used it later on as some leverage or some way to piss us off even more. But they withheld information to us. So, that is fact. So, with that, would they have sunk the Lusitania as well? I don't know, but, I mean, that is a possibility. So... anyway, moving on up to 1918, Montreal's Georges Vezina became the first NHL goalie to record and assist during the Canadiens' 6-3 win over the Toronto Arenas. Alright? And only bring in hockey stuff because, Alice, but, Alice is not here, so I don't know. Anyway, 1921, the beginning of the Rand Rebellion in Southern Africa. The rebellion started as a strike by white mine workers on and became an open and armed rebellion against the state. And that's around the same time apartheid was starting, I think, right? So,
that I can't tell you.
When did apartheid start? 1948. I was off yet again, but apartheid was a lot longer than a lot of people realize. 1948, though, that's a little late. I'm not entirely sure. And then we have the first ever Women's Cricket International began. England versus Australia in Australia, 1934. So your favorite
Cricket?
sport? Yeah.
You have cricket in there?
Yeah. Well, I was hoping that you'd show up, and you did. So. But what do we got here in 1935, Mr. MTM?
Okay. Pravda publishes a letter by Pavel Pushchev, who revives New Year tree tradition in the Soviet Union.
Huh.
That was lost.
I don't even know what it is.
New Year tradition? Celebrating it.
No, New Year
traditionally,
tradition.
traditionally the reason people used Christmas trees, the practical usage of a Christmas tree, is to warm your house. There's warmth, there's heat energy that's exerted from the tree when you bring it into your house.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yep. So that's probably what they're doing is trying to celebrate the new year and also add some warmth. It probably gets really cold.
I mean, when you said that they use a tree for warmth, the first thing that came to my mind was they brought the tree in, they set it on fire. That gives holy smokes to a whole new meaning, But I looked it up. New Year trees are decorated similar to Christmas trees that are displayed to specifically celebrate the New Year. They should not be confused with the practice of leaving up a Christmas tree until after New Year's Day, which is what everybody does. Traditionally, until the Epiphany on 6th of January. New Year trees are common in various cultures and traditions, chiefly the former Soviet Union, former Yugoslavia, Turkey, China, and Vietnam. Huh. So it's an Eastern thing. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So,
all very cold places, except for Vietnam.
Yeah, Vietnam, huh. So, yeah, for further reading on this, please refer to the underbar, the description, after the live stream. This link will be down in there to start you off on your cognitive adventures of that information, if you so wish. What else? Whose turn is it anyway?
It's still mine. That was my first one.
Okay.
Okay. So 1942. You want me to go to? I don't see anything here.
Yeah.
Okay. Robert Sullivan becomes the first pilot to fly Atlantic 100 times.
Oh, that's a lot of flights.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's great. That's wild. Yeah. 1943. All Khmer inhabitants of the Republic of... Whoa, that's a lot of vowels. Kalmykia deported by the Soviet Union to Central Asia and Siberia. Many die. Send them to Siberia.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me a little bit of the Trail of Tears right there.
Oh. 1944, Dutch Renaissance fighter Corrie ten Broom is accidentally released from the Ravensbrück concentration camp in 1944, living to speak and educate of her experience in the hiding place.
Yeah, resistance fighter, not Renaissance.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah. She's not out there protesting with, painting a Michelangelo, sculpture or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. That's like a scene out of Idiocracy. I've already been in prison. Well, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong line, stupid.
You're in the wrong line, dumbass. Hey, let this dumbass through. I love that.
Yeah, I even got sat on and everything, you know?
Oh, my days.
Oh, jeez.
Alrighty.
Why don't you take this other 44, because it's your year right now.
44. Eisenhower and Montgomery meet in Hasselt, Belgium.
I meant the Montreal one. Down a little bit.
Oh, my apologies.
That's
Montreal, right-wing Maurice Rocket Richard becomes first player in National Hockey League history to score 8 points in one game with 5 goals and 3 assists in the Canadiens' 9-1 win over the Detroit Red Wings.
Wow, 8 points out of 9. He carried. Bruh. He carried that team that game.
That's a big carry right there. It's one of my favorite hockey players of all time.
Yeah. 1945, Congress officially recognized the Pledge of Allegiance. That took a while. What the hell?
That late?
It's after World War II. It ended a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They're American. They were going to get to it eventually, right?
It takes us time, you know? So. And then 1947, the National Football League Championship in Comiskey Park, Chicago. The Chicago Cardinals defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 28-21, becoming the Cardinals' only titles victory so far, to my knowledge. They might have had one since then, I'm not sure.
The Bears?
The Cardinals.
Oh, the Cardinals.
No, not the Bears.
The Chicago Bears. So
Chicago. No. Are they Bears? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is NFL.
Yeah.
The
Chicago Bears. The Cardinals must have moved on and kept the name with them.
Or
they went up to.
Did they become the Bears?
Well, they are now. They've been my lifetime. They've been the Chicago Bears.
Did the Cardinals become the Bears? Are the Cardinals still an NFL team?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're based in Phoenix. Okay, so they did move.
Yeah.
So I guess they just made a new one.
They were in St. Louis and they moved to Phoenix. But the Bears are in Chicago.
Anyway, what else do we got here? We got that. Okay. 1948, the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, crossed Egyptian border. And how can you call yourself a defense force when you're taking the offensive? Like, that never makes sense to me. Like you can say, Patton's quote, the best defense is an offense, but you can't sit there and saying you're defending yourself while actively going after somebody else. You're crossing the line. You're defending. You're no longer defending. You're offending. You know.
Well, it depends on the circumstances. If you've been attacked and you're going out in to root out the attacker, then you're defending yourself.
If you're defending on your land, once you step off of your property, you're no longer defending. You're offending. Technically, this isn't a swing at Israel. Like, this is like just general.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in general. So if someone attacks you and they go across the border, you can't touch them before you're offensively after attacking them?
Well, if you ask that to a police officer, yes, because jurisdictions. Yeah. No, like, I mean, what say you, MTM? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know if I can comment, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can share my thoughts on YouTube.
Okay,
to be honest.
We'll save that for after the show then, I guess.
Save that for after the show, yeah.
Yeah, well, let's get back to you here. I think I took 4. I'm not sure. So, 1948.
Okay. The U.S. announced a study to launch an Earth satellite. First one?
Well, I mean, that's 48, so I would say so, yeah. But you missed one before, the DC-3.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
The DC-3 airliner NC-16002 disappears 50 miles south of Miami, Florida.
That's
another victim of the Bermuda Triangle. Hot damn.
Yeah. There's a whole theory about what was it, like the Malaysian Flight 180 or whatever it's called. And once again, we're going to be talking about this at some point. Probably not this upcoming ThEoD, because Noah wants to talk about this. But like, there's like like the Malaysian flight that vanished. Like, there's like they infrareded the video, and it shows that there's invisible to the naked eye, 3 orbs that were rotating the plane before it vanished. And there's a whole theory about like it might have been like a wormhole thing, and it got transported through time. Like,
well, you know what, the theory that a lot of people on X have in regard to this. X is the not
Twixter is what we're talking about.
Not Twitter. No, not Twitter. X, like 4chan.org/X is the board for paranormal interest.
Okay.
Like as X as in X-Files.
Okay.
Like I want to believe. Gotcha. Yeah. So the going theory is that the reason that planes get their barometers and stuff and altimeters so messed up when they go to that area is because Atlantis is right under in the middle, and Atlantis is like harvesting material and supplies from those planes that come through to continue to run their city.
I would think it'd
because
probably
it's
be
built
more
off
of
of
a
old
magnetic
alien
thing.
tech. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole conversation in itself, right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we gotta stick to the topic here. 1949.
Let's continue on.
Yeah.
20th Century Fox announces it will produce TV programs.
Oh.
Wow.
Hey.
Yeah. Ooh, 1950. I don't know why this isn't highlighted. This is pretty big.
Chinese troops cross 38th parallel into South Korea.
Ooh. The Korean War, the Forgotten War, you know. And as a loon here educated me, you want to say it about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
When China had an ultimatum, involve themselves in the Korean War, or go after Taiwan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. They chose to involve in the Korean War.
Yep.
And leave Taiwan to a later date.
Because what would happen is, like, if they didn't help the Norks, then we would have steamrolled, and there would be a unified Korean, peninsula under our control, and eventually we would just take Taiwan back anyway.
Up against the border of China.
Yeah.
That was the key.
Yeah.
They didn't want that.
They didn't want us on their border, so very
their
much
border.
like the whole Soviet Union, like the whole aspect of Russia and everything, because all of Russia is just separating Moscow from its enemies. Like that's literally like the entire mentality of like because it started off as Moscow as a city, and then it just expanded. And then all of the Eastern Bloc states with the Soviet Union and all that stuff, that's just more levels of separating the enemies between themselves and Moscow, creating as big of a divide physically as they can. So that's why China helped the Norks, North Koreans and everything. Anyway, 1950 as well.
The Peak District becomes the UK's first national park.
All right. Pretty cool.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1957, CBS stated it won't broadcast baseball where minor league games are on. So that's I can see both sides of the story with that. They don't want to compete, it's not that they don't want to compete. They probably were forced to not compete. But at the same time, that takes a choice away from the consumer if they want to,
I mean, but at the time, they probably didn't have enough TV channels to have a dedicated channel to that. Nowadays, it's like, yeah, okay, there's a college sports channel, no big deal.
Yeah.
Well, does that say that when a minor league team is playing live, or are they talking about if it's on another channel or something?
Well, basically, okay, like let's say like in your town, okay, there's a minor league game on TV in your town.
Oh, okay. So it is about on TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's CBS. It's a TV thing. So, like, this removes their ability to broadcast to take viewers away from the minor league games. Because remember, like Major League and all that, professional sports stuff is still relatively new in the 50s.
Yeah.
Like, the NBA, the NFL, the NHL, like all these, major. Because as you said, football. Well, not just as you said, as it is, football was originally mostly about college.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
That was the big draw.
Yeah.
Professional football was nothing.
And by comparison, college football would be minor leagues with baseball.
So to speak.
Kind of, the same wheelhouse, sort of, So, anyway, 1957, we got that one. 1958, the greatest game ever played. Baltimore Colts win the 26th NFL championship against the New York Giants, 23-17 at Yankee Stadium. In the first ever sudden death overtime game in NFL history, 17 future members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame were involved in the game. Holy crap. You want to talk about an all-star cast.
Yeah.
Like, so. And in 1958, the Chipmunks, Alvin, Simon and Theodore with David Seville hits #1. Yeah.
I didn't realize it goes that far back.
Yeah.
Huh.
Christmas time has come
Thank
this year.
Thank you. Shut his mic off, please.
I'm in control of everything. Good luck with that. 1963, Merle Haggard's first appearance on country music chart with Sing a Sad Song. Merle Haggard. That's a name. So, yeah. Back to Mr. MTM in 1963 with Scottish.
Scottish Lotus driver. How do you drive a Lotus? Jim Clark wins his record 7th Grand Prix of the F1 season, the South African event at Prince George Circuit. First Scotsman to win the World Drivers' Championship.
All right. Pretty cool.
1964, the premiere... Oh, no, where are we going here?
64.
Oh, the principal filming on Dr. Zhivago begins. What movie was that? I don't remember that movie.
Yeah.
Dr. Zhivago.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Russia. Yeah. And I'm forgetting who the actor and actress was.
Let's see here. During the Russian Revolution, Yuri Zhivago, Omar Sharif, is a young doctor who has been raised by his aunt and uncle following his father's self-deletion. Yuri falls in love with beautiful Laura Gushner, played by Julie Christie, who has been having an affair with her mother's lover, Victor.
Whoa.
Yikes. Victor Komarovsky, played by Rog Stiegler. So, wow, that's a story.
A wild Russian movie. Huh?
Yeah. What
Russians gone wild, uncensored.
Yeah.
Where were we?
67.
67. Muriel Seibert is the first woman to own a seat on the NYC New York Stock Exchange.
NYSE.
Probably NYC Stock Exchange. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
1968. 100,000 attend Miami Pop Festival. Performers include the Hendrix Experience, Jimi Hendrix Experience, of course, Mothers of Invention, Chuck Berry, John Lee Hooker, and the Crazy World of Arthur Brown, and Blues Image.
All right. I want to interrupt this broadcast really quick. I just remembered I got to check the comment section. We have Nander. Hello, welcome to the show. Dropping a like and some love. Thank you for the like. Love right back to you, Nander. Really appreciate it. Do we have any comments on... Nope, we don't have over here. All right. But yeah, so yeah, no, like we've been getting people in the comment section now, so I gotta add even more things. I gotta start paying attention. I need a staff, like I really do. Not a staff infection. I need a crew. So
clarifying. Really glad I have that image in my head now. Okay. You want to take a 1968 here?
Yeah, we also have in 1968, the Beatles' White Album went #1 and stayed there for 9 weeks. All right, yeah, the Beatles, of course. Yeah. Oh. And then we also have Israeli assault on the Beirut airport. Once again, how could you say that you're a defense force if you're attacking? Like, I don't know. So, and then 1970, Yemen Arab Republic, North Yemen, adopted their constitution. All right. Oh, wow. Speaking of Korea that we talked about earlier, back to you, 1972.
Huh. You made that rhyme on purpose. Kim Il-sung becomes president of North Korea, starting the reign of the Kims.
Yep. Kim Il-sung, then Kim Jong-un, then Kim Jong-il. Or is it Kim Jong-il or currently today, or is it Un?
Kim Il-sung. Kim Jong-un is the current.
Okay, so Kim Jong-il... Then Kim Jong-un. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Yep.
Nazi, and then right after 1972, ironically enough, Nazi leader Martin Bormann's skeleton and remains are found in Berlin.
Yeah, not even right after 72. Same day, same year.
Yeah.
Like while that was happening, that happened.
Busy day.
Yeah.
Cut off the head of a hydra, another one grows back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We're going to 1973 here.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Alexander Sols. Hang on one second.
You're the Akron one, actually.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. U.S. President Nixon.
Wait.
Oh no, Akron. Sorry.
Where are we going?
Akron.
I don't even see Nixon here. Where's
there's
this?
three things going on in 1973 I'm trying to find. Akron, Ohio's Chamber of Commerce terminates itself from soapbox derby. Wow.
Huh. So, like, what does that mean? Like, they pulled out or something? Like,
Yeah, terminate.
they got out of the, I guess,
And
gambling or something? I'm not sure. Huh.
Yeah, they just didn't compete, I guess.
Well, that would make sense. You don't want a political thing involved in something that could be gambling.
Well, soapbox derby was those little cars kids would make, and then they race them.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I was thinking horse racing for whatever reason. Okay, so that makes things even weirder. Okay, so let me just look this up here really quick.
They terminated it for whatever reason.
Business groups abandoned it. No, they didn't terminate the event. They just removed themselves from it.
Oh, okay.
Like, business group abandons its ties to soapbox derby, so the derby's still going on. They're just no longer affiliated. I'm trying to figure out why. What is it? The boys were filming up, blah, 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 have a race, I would contact local. This is not telling it. So, if anybody can figure out, what's going on with this, please tell us in the comments section. That'd be fantastic.
Because it'd be my guess the soapbox derby still runs today.
It does, I think, like somewhere.
I don't know, but I would guess it does.
Yeah. We also have 73. Alexander Solzhenitsyn published Gulag Archipelago, a literary investigation of the police state system of the Soviet Union. Yeah? Like the gulags up in Siberia and all that stuff. Awful stuff. So. And Alexander Solzhenitsyn, wasn't he like imprisoned at one point? Yeah, for his dissident writing, he was expelled from the Union of Writers in '69. And he was expelled from the Soviet Union eventually. So, yeah. It was these experiences. Oh, yeah, no, he was in the gulags. In his time in exile and labor camps, and perhaps especially his terminal diagnosis, that led Solzhenitsyn back to his Orthodox Christian faith, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, this guy went through some stuff.
Wow.
Freaking Russian Abe Lincoln guy over here. So, yeah.
He does look like an Amish,
Yeah, definitely.
version of Abe Lincoln.
But then, 73. Now we get to talk about Nixon. Here we go. Go for it, MTM.
U.S. President Nixon signs the Endangered Species Act into law, so
All right.
wasn't all bad. Did some good shit too.
Yeah. But let's remember, he did the final nail in the coffin that ended the gold standard. To be back, the backing of our currency. He opened up trade relations with China, which is why the world is in the way it is today. And keep in mind, he's from California. That explains everything. Even worse, he was born, not too far from where I live. Fuck me. Anyway, what else do we got here? Oh yeah, but before we go on, I want to say the manatee is no longer an endangered species.
Really?
Manatee is not.
Yeah.
Since when?
Like it was 2018. Hold on a second. Let's see. Manatee no longer endangered. Let's look this up here. 2017. Yeah. The manatee was downlisted in 2017 from endangered to threatened. So, yeah, that's good.
It's coming back.
Yeah, that's good. So, but anyway, what else do we got here? You got another earthquake.
1974, a 6.3 earthquake strikes Pakistan, 5,200 killed.
Yikes. Yeah. And while that was happening, Senegalese Marxist group Renew Rue founded the political movement Anjif at a clandestine congress. That sounds fishy right there. Oh.
My name Anjif.
Yes, my name Jeff. What movie was that from?
It's from 21 Jump Street,
That's
22
right.
Jump Street, the sequel to the new 21 Jump Street.
That's right.
Where he's trying so hard to like stay in character.
Yeah.
And then the other guy just goes, "My name, yeah."
My name's Jeff. 1975, the Hail Mary, with 32 seconds left in the NFC divisional playoff game, Cowboys quarterback Roger Staubach threw a legendary A 50-yard winning touchdown pass to Drew Pearson to defeat the Minnesota Vikings, and the Hail Mary play was born. Hey, where's Alice? You know, Vikings is actually her team, legitimately.
Yes, I know.
So, yeah. We love to give her shit both on and off camera about being from Wisconsin and being a cheesehead. Oh, what about them Packers, you know? No. But no, she's a Vikings fan, honestly.
From Minnesota, don't you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you know, everybody knows that New York is the Big Apple, right?
Right.
But nobody knows where the Minneapolis.
Oh. Boo.
Thank you. I'll be here all week. And then my turn for an earthquake in 75. An earthquake in Pakistan, killing 4,000. Yikes! What's with the earthquakes today? Like,
Wasn't the other one in Pakistan?
Yes, it was.
Jeez.
Good remember. 1 year later. Wow. Same day. Wow. What the hell? That's wild. What's going on?
Boy, gotta check their karma out. What's going on?
I guess God is mad. Oh. Anyway, what do you got for us in 75?
Gear, what do I have? Hang on. In the aftermath of the Cold War, the New York Rangers become the first team in National Hockey League history to face a touring Soviet hockey squad, and the Soviet Army beats the Rangers 7-3 at Madison Square Garden. Yikers.
So was that the upset?
That's a little embarrassing.
No. You're thinking of the
Olympics.
Olympics.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's still an upset,
They're
though.
just touring here. They played professional teams and beat them. I remember that.
Ah. Dang.
1976, Winnie Mandela banished in South Africa. Now, is she
The wife
related
of
to?
Yes.
No, she's his wife. Okay.
Yes. So, yeah,
So she's related by
anti-apartheid
marriage,
activists
yeah.
and politicians. That's why she was banished. It was during apartheid. At least banished is
Okay.
better than imprisoned. No, poor Nelson, man. Like, just got screwed. So, yeah.
1978, 30th hat trick in National Hockey League New York Island franchise history, scored by Mike Bossy.
Yep. Mike Bossy, one of the legends. So, yep.
For those of you who don't know, a hat trick is when you do something 3 times in a row in succession.
Right.
Do you know the origins of the hat trick?
Here we go.
Oh no, tell
you
me.
hate me, don't you? You're doing this because you hate me.
No, I just love to be a pain in the ass, you know? So,
and now I know because of you.
Hat tricks actually originated from cricket. So, yeah. Which,
Gotcha.
Like,
cricket.
I'm not sure how much you know, but the loon here just hates cricket. So,
Not that I don't hate it. I don't know what the blue blazes they're talking about when they give stats. I don't know what it means.
Oh my days, he's pulled off quite the hat trick, hasn't he?
Well, you gotta do a cricket wicket and jump to the jingle ball to get the century. What the hell does that even mean?
So
well,
why
it's
is
British?
So if a hat trick is 3 things in a row, right? Why do we call 3 strikes in bowling a turkey?
True.
I know, but here we go. Origin of the hat trick. As I said, British cricket. A bowler who retired 3 batsmen with 3 consecutive balls in cricket was entitled to a new hat at the expense of the club to commemorate the feat. So that's why it's called the hat trick. You do a trick and you get a hat, a physical hat. Like, so.
Okay.
Yeah. But what else do we got here? 1980, Mexico terminated fishing agreements with the U.S. Huh. Okay. That's weird.
I wonder if that's when the Mexican fisherman story came to fruition.
I've never heard of that, but enlighten me.
It's kind of long, and we're running out of time here in the broadcast, so I'll
we're
show
already
you later.
on the hour, so you know, as long as we don't
really?
go too
Okay.
long. So.
I don't know the whole story. It's kind of a long one. I'll show you a video of it later.
All right. We also have 1981. The first U.S. test tube baby, Elizabeth Jordan Carr, is born in Norfolk, Virginia. So artificial womb.
Yeah.
So holy crap. That's bizarre. That's 41 years ago, 42 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Test tube. Wow. And that still sounds like science fiction, and that happened all that time before I was born. Holy crap! While that was going on, the Cleveland Metro Parks administrative offices moved from downtown to Zoo, Cleveland, Ohio. You know, I just put that in there because, you know, Luna and I, you know, we went to the old LA Zoo yesterday.
That was a shocker.
Yeah.
Seeing it, they still have a lot of the old cages and things, and what we put animals in is pretty disgusting.
Oh. Yeah. Absolutely horrifying. So, yeah, anybody interested, you know, go look up Old LA Zoo. Like, you know, anybody who can, you know, like, go and visit it. It's mostly ruins, but they have, like, a lot of, like, you know, as Lou here said, structures. I took pictures. MTM, if you're interested, actually, I did a picture dump in the Pics channel on our Discord server. But anyway, we also have 81. Warner Electro-Atlantic raised the price of 45 records from $1.68 or $1.68 to $1.98. So 30 cents right there. So I guess 45 records. So is that number of records, or is that like a type of record? The 45-inch wide, or you know, what is that?
That's a type of record. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's 45.
30,
Yeah.
45 is a single.
Okay.
30 is an album.
Okay. Oh yeah.
You're talking to a vinyl guy here.
Well, you know, that's why I have you on the show. You know, like I can't do everything. You know, I'm not the source of information. I have other people to help me. So, but what else do we got here in 1983, MTM?
Sorry, I was taking on my
right.
wrist brace there. U.S. threatens to leave UNESCO. Wow, it's a lot of letters. After objectifying to its domination by a coalition of third world and Soviet bloc nations.
Yeah, UNESCO. That's like United Nations something. Let me look that up. But like, we've heard of UNESCO heritage. You know, have you? MTM.
No.
Anyway, UNESCO is United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. It's a specialized agency of the United Nations with the aim of promoting world peace and security through international cooperation in education, arts, sciences, and culture. So, I bring that up because recently the baguettes, you know, like we know, you know, the famous French baguettes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Good bread.
Yeah. Well, no, like the actual like process of, you know, making it and all that stuff was threatened because of industrialization. Everything is becoming modernized, commercialized, all this stuff. So the actual arts of hand making, you know, the bread, you know, the culture of France is going by the wayside. And so UNESCO, you know, think what you want about the United Nations and all that stuff, which, you know, I agree with most, you know, things. United Nations is iffy. But they're, you know, at least with this, they're trying at the surface level to preserve things that are going away. So as I said, you know, the baguette is now a UNESCO World Heritage thing because it is an art that might be lost to time. Like, you know, like blacksmithing, like how they built the pyramids. You know, like you know, what's another example?
Well, you can look at up in old parts of Pasadena where the craftsmanship that went into building those homes gone today.
Exactly.
It doesn't exist.
Exactly. So it's a way of preserving that is, you know, for, you know, not really for practice, but for documentation. So if anybody out there wants to randomly, you know, make their own homemade baguettes, here you go. Now, here's your tool, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, let me add this wiki to the underbar description. UNESCO, you know, ESCO. Yeah. Anyway, what else do we got here? 1984. It was your turn, MTM, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Where are we?
Yeah, which 1984?
I'm trying to find it. Okay, I'm too far ahead. Oh, here it is. Okay.
The first one, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Creosote Bush determined to be 11,700 years old.
That's one old bush. So, yeah. By the way, welcome to the show, Noah. How you doing? How was your nap?
Oh, I needed one.
Yes, you did. But yeah, here we go. Near Lucerne Valley, King Clone has an average diameter of 45 feet. Using radiocarbon dating and known growth rates of creosote, scientists have estimated the age of King Clone as 11,700 years. Some of these common residents have been here continuously since the last ice age. So it's a plant that, and it's called King Clone, I believe, because it might be cloning itself? Question mark. like working like a jellyfish, like not entirely sure. So, oldest.
Yeah,
bush.
plants could potentially do that because you can take any part of a plant and graft it onto another plant, or if it just gets into the ground just right, it will start growing.
Crossbreeding and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can use and you do cross, but some people do crossbreeding too.
I mean, speaking of that, and I'm not sure how much of this is true, but I'm told that if you have a rose bush and like you have like a rose that's blooming or something, if you cut that off, plant that upside down, so like the rose underground, make a new bush. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I just walked into King Clone and I was like, didn't even know what we were talking about.
Well, yeah, we're talking about like King Clone, so we're talking about this really old bush. So yeah. Well, you have another 84 here actually. Here it is.
TV soap Edge of Night ends 28-year run.
Oh, that's a long run.
It is. It's like almost. I think it's like The Simpsons, like the longest TV show ever on the air, right?
It is.
I believe so. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Moving on up to 1985, warring Lebanese, Muslim, and Christian leaders signed a peace agreement. All right, that's pretty important. 1987, my year, Ronald Gene Simmons killed 2 former employees and wounded 4 additional others in a shooting spree, then surrendered to police. Later, bodies of 14 of his relatives he had murdered were found in his home near Dover, Arkansas. Holy crap. Yikes.
Might have been your year, but it wasn't theirs.
What did you say, Eminem?
I said it might have been 1987 might have been your year, but it definitely wasn't theirs.
No.
Did you call him Eminem just now?
No. Talking about jeans. No, I said MTM.
Oh, I thought you said Eminem.
Meditating what I gotta do to get it through to you.
All right, calm down there, Marshall.
Oh my God, Marshall Mathers.
That was actually pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We also have 1988. John Tarrant, the first Australian-born Zen teacher, received the Dharma transmission. You should know about that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And while that was happening, we have the U.S. Second Circuit Court of Appeals affirmed Yonkers is guilty of racism.
Slither.
How do you guilty an entire town of racism? What? Like,
I don't
Yonkers,
know.
New York? Is that what they're talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah, Yonkers, New York.
Huh. I don't know of any other Yonkers, so... Yeah. Do we have any other comments? Just double checking. No, we don't. I have...
Yeah.
Moving on up to 80...
Just to clarify, kind of skipped over that, a little backtrack a little bit. Dharma transmission is a custom in which a person is established as a successor in an unbroken lineage of teachers and disciples, a spiritual bloodline or theoretically traced back to the Buddha himself. So it's like it's like an understanding of karma and reincarnation together as a person who
like
enacts
the
the Dharma.
Dalai Lama in that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, you can't really believe in karma without believing in reincarnation. It wouldn't. It just they don't make sense without each other, right? Like you have the karma that you have because you're born. Yeah. I don't want to get too into it. We should move on. But
well, I'm pretty sure you have a lot to say about that. But yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
What else do we have here in 91?
8 are crushed to death at a rap basketball game at City College, New York City.
RAP. What is that? What is RAP basketball? Like,
I don't know.
Let's look that up here.
Probably some kind of league or something.
RAP. Oh, here we go. Rap basketball. All right. Here we go. NTBA. Oh, is it children's? Like, these look like a bunch of kids.
That's really depressing.
Depressing?
Ron's athletic program is just what it's called.
Okay. So what is it? Like,
what's the kids?
Empowering young people to take it to the next level. The mission of rap basketball is to educate and empower today's youth and with confidence and commitment and integrity so they can live a productive and successful tomorrow. One goal is to teach young athletes respect for themselves, their peers, and their community by instilling a code of ethics built on honesty, responsibility, and teamwork. So it's a youth program.
Yeah, it's a
using basketball as a
So
medium.
8 people died in a youth program thing. That sucks. I hope
Dedicated to the life. On their About Us page, it's one of the victims, I believe, is dedicated to the life and memories of Yarborough Bolter Arnis Perkins.
Yee. Wow, that's well, not everything in history is nice. So yeah.
How did they get crushed? That's crazy. Was it like a falling piece of equipment or something?
I wonder if it was an accident or something. Let me do a surface level scratch of this article here really quick. Okay, here we go. 8 people were crushed to death and 24 were injured after hundreds of rap music fans trampled the city college gym when they were shut out of a celebrity basketball game. So it was a Black Friday event, kind of. Wow. That's... Yeah. I mean, we've covered, like, religious things where a lot of people were trampled to death. Like the Mecca and stuff. Like, the Haji and all that stuff.
Yeah, the Hajj.
Yeah. So, that's awful. So, that wasn't even like an accident. That was just a stupid. So, anyway, what else do we have in 91?
I think that was my... Oh, no, that was my first one. Irene, the icon of the Greek Orthodox Church, returns after being stolen.
All right. That's good. Irene, the icon of the Greek Orthodox Church. Let me pull that up an image to see what Irene looked like here. Oh, okay. So it's like a painting or something. Oh. Okay.
Go back to it for a second. I missed it.
Do you mind if I take this 93?
Go ahead.
1993, Andrea Bocelli made his classical debut singing at a concert at the Teatro Romello Valli in Reggio Emilia, Italy. Aiali, what? I think that's supposed to be Italy.
I don't know how you pronounce it.
But, yeah, Andrea Bocelli, as I was telling this to MTM last night, everybody knows his songs, or at least one of his songs. Conte Passiano. Yeah, which is Italian for a time to say goodbye. That's his most famous work. My mom loved him. I think she has all of his albums. One year I bought like a Christmas CD of his stuff, for a present for her once. I remember that. Yeah. So, but she loved him. He's a blind opera singer. That's why his eyes are closed. But he is good. So, anyway. 94, back to you, MTM. Give you what I took, turn. So, yeah.
Oh, you want to just go back to it? Okay, cool. And then you'll do 3.
I mean, I was born in 93.
This is my...
Third one.
Third one, yeah, okay. The first 93. Oh, no, this is 94. Okay, 94. Cool. The Madness of King George, film based on the play by Alan Bennett, directed by Nicholas Heitner, starring Nigel Hawthorne and Helen Mirren, premieres in the U.S.
All right. The Madness of King George. Yeah, he certainly was crazy. We also have 1999. Sapar Murat Niyazov was proclaimed president for life in Turkmenistan. That's alarming. President for life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, breaking into the next millennium in the year 2000, U.S. retail giant Montgomery Ward announced it was going out of business after 128 years. Yeah. They're gone?
Oh, yeah. They've been gone, since... Yeah, Monkey Ward.
Monkey Ward? Never heard them called that, but yeah. Monty Ward.
Montgomery Ward.
Yeah, I've never heard them called Monkey Ward. No.
Only one result on Google. That's crazy.
When their remaining brick and mortar stores closed in 2001, Montgomery Ward was officially out of business. In 2004, however, the brand was bought out and relaunched as an online retailer. Although it's no longer the household name it once was, Montgomery Ward is still up and running, so it's still around.
I didn't know that. See, they're online now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I remember when they closed them down.
But they're under new management. That's the thing. They went defunct. And then the brand, the name was brand. But see, on that same article of discussion, Toys R Us is coming back. Somebody bought that name and they're coming back.
There you go.
But I heard that years ago, and it might have fallen through by then. But yeah. Anyway, 2002, LinkedIn was founded by Reid Hoffman and others in Mountain View, California. We all know LinkedIn. Yeah. And then
LinkedIn.
In 2005, a U.S. immigration judge ordered John Demjanjuk deported to Ukraine for crimes against humanity committed during World War II. Oh, that's topical for today's events. Wow. Noah, do you want to read any?
I guess. I mean, I was. Where are
We're
we?
gonna do the 2007 one, right?
Yeah, Nepal here.
Okay. Okay, so in 2007, Nepal declared the Federal Democratic Republic by interim parliament abolished the monarchy.
All right.
So they like were no longer run by like a king or a lord. Instead, it was a democratic republic at that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
The United States is a democratic republic.
Yeah.
Like, or just straight up republic.
Republic, yeah.
Like, are we a democratic republic or are we a republic?
Republic.
Supposed to be democratic republic.
Well,
based on Rome and Greece.
Well, on paper, China is a democratic republic, but in
No, it's
practice,
not.
Very much
Not even on paper.
Yeah, well, well, I mean, they're called the People's Republic of whatever, yada yada. You know, one of those words.
Liberation Army, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's not even.
Yeah. But anyway, you can do 2 more if you want. Like if you want to be added into the fold of reading. This one here.
Yeah, I can read 2 more, right? Because I'm on.
Ooh, Alice's team.
Oh, okay. The Green Bay Packers. Okay.
Yeah.
So in 2008, the Detroit Lions crashed to a 31-21 loss to Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field, the first team in NFL history to go winless in a 16 game season.
Wow.
Tongue-tied.
Huh.
Tongue-tied.
Wow, that's a yikes.
And this year, Detroit is actually one of the teams to beat.
Huh.
They finally come back many years later.
Dude, I lived through the friggin' who is it? The White Sox, the Cubs finally getting a World Series. Who is it?
Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, the Cubs. Yeah, they finally did. What, like 2020 or something? 2019?
Oh no, it's quite a ways back.
Yeah, but hey, that's history right there.
It's not.
Here's something a little depressing here. So. And Noah, can you speak up a little bit, or are you like, do you have to stay?
I mean, like you're talking about the 2009 one, right?
Yeah.
No,
here,
right?
So.
Yeah, I'll read that one too. That'll be my 3rd one.
All right.
Okay, so it says in 2009, 43 people die in a suicide bombing in what's called Karachi in Pakistan, where Shia Muslims were observing the day of Ashura.
That's not good.
So 43 people died in a suicide. Why am I reading horrible things?
Well, not all history is roses, but like, right there.
Yeah,
I don't care
know.
if you're Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, whatever. Like, leave people alone during their religious stuff. This kind of reminds me of the Tet Offensive, where they took advantage of their own religion, and did a whole thing during Vietnam and everything. But I mean, but then that just opens the door for people to catch people off guard. War is hell. But something that I forgot about, and I really wish I had done a history show on Christmas.
Ooh.
Because then we could have talked about the Christmas truce of World War I. So, and that is one of the greatest.
Yeah, I remember that. Hearing about that.
That was one of the greatest moments of humanity ever, expressed. Is like,
yeah, because they stopped fighting on Christmas. Because everyone knows what Christmas is.
Well, it was a very shaky truce and a ceasefire, but then the very next day they went right back to killing each other. But still,
yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But it was like it meant understanding each other.
It's a time of hey, we got to knock it off. We got to stop the divisiveness. Find ways to get together. At least for a moment. If we have to kill each other, fine. Let's just do it some other point. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, 2012 MTM.
2012. Yeah. Vladimir Putin signs into law a ban on U.S. adoption of Russian children.
All right. So if you're of the U.S. and you want to adopt a Russian child, they won't let you. No. All right.
Wait, when did that still today?
Probably. I mean, Putin's
he's still in power, so yeah.
I don't think he's Putin on a show here, so yeah.
I don't know.
Early signs of Ebola epidemic in 2013.
Oh, I remember that.
2-year-old child in Guinea dies of an unidentified hemorrhage fever. Mother, sister, and grandmother soon follow.
Yikes. The whole family went out.
So, yeah, maybe patient 0 of Ebola.
Hey.
2015, Japan and South Korea reach agreement over World War II comfort woman. Japan apologizes and pays 1 billion yen compensation. That's interesting because a lot of my friends who are from Japan and live in Japan in my community talk about this. How Japan
totally,
is
like,
so
screwed.
well. They're so nationalist. Nationalist. They could not admit they were. They don't want to admit that they were part of the Axis powers because it makes them look bad because they lost. And they totally like write it out of history books and totally deny it all the time.
Yikes.
Top of their culture. Yeah, it's pretty cringe.
Yeah, that is actually like legitimately cringe because as I said, like you gotta have every part of history, especially. I would say the worst parts of history are the best because that gives us a platform on which to not do again. So
if we learn from history,
if we keep it to learn from history,
it seemed like a good idea at the time, and they were going to get Mexico out of the deal. So it's like, why not?
Yeah.
I would have loved me a Japanese taco or a chicharito.
Yeah, but like Japan, what Japan did to Korea, like they went in there, they enslaved the men and the women, but the women went into sex slavery and all that stuff, and there's like a lot of horrible things. Awful
they
stuff.
did the Chinese too.
Well, yeah. The what was it? Help me. What was the massacre in China? The something city, like.
Tiananmen Square?
No. That was way after. No, I'm talking about.
Oh, you're not even supposed to say that over here. They're making it so if you say it over here, they put you on a list.
Anyway, Nanjing is what I'm thinking of. The massacre of
Oh.
Nanjing. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on up. What else do we got here? 2017.
You want to jump there? Did we do?
If
Oh,
there's
yeah,
any
the
other ones
first
you
one.
want to say, go
Yes,
for it. Like,
Iranian. Does no one want to? This is like the last one. Iranian woman Vida Mohavid arrested for protesting against policy of compulsory hijab, sparking other protests. Wow.
You see, I don't understand why she did that. I mean, it's compulsory. It's not mandatory. So, like, why are you like against something that's optional?
That is kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah, because it just got her into trouble. Like, what's the point?
Maybe she's really it's like a slippery slope argument for her, like compulsory today, mandatory tomorrow.
Right there. That's what I was thinking too. So nip it in the bud, but at the same time, you're only making yourself look bad. It's sometimes you gotta wait for the evil to turn the corner before you do something about it to prevent it.
Like she protested because it wasn't compulsory.
That too, So what else do we have?
Later the same year in Mashhad, Iran, protests arise because the protests are against the price and rises of corruption.
Yeah, so protests in Mashhad the same day, same year in Iran against price rises and corruption. So, yeah.
Totally
Mr. Noah, do you want to read? You want to take another turn?
Sure, I'll have 3 more, right?
Yeah.
How many more do we have? Like just enough to do. Okay.
We have. we're getting close actually. So you can.
I mean, it's already 12:30, so like.
Actually, we have 2 more articles. So why don't you take those and then we'll wrap us up.
Alright, so I'll read the last one and the other one after that. Yeah. In 2008, UFC Bantamweight Champion. Is this Bantamweight? Is that what it's called?
Bantamweight, yeah.
It's real life.
Okay, so UFC in 2018, UFC Bantamweight Champion Amanda Nunes of Brazil moves up in weight.
Can you speak up, please? Like, make yourself audible.
Hold my microphone a little closer. Hang on. Yeah. In 2018, UFC Bantamweight Champion Amanda Nunes of Brazil moves up in weight and KOs dominant featherweight Chris Cyborg Justino just 51 seconds into the opening round at the Forum in Inglewood, California, the first female to win the UFC titles in multiple weight classes.
Wow. Now that's a real strong woman right there. 51 seconds KO? Holy crap.
We're not talking about a Mary Sue. We're not talking about like a Mary Sue like Rey Palpatine either.
We're not talking about freaking Rey Skywalker
yeah.
or Palpatine.
Or whatever. I called her Palpatine.
Yeah, no, she's a Palpatine. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then last but not least, this is a bad article, but still, like, it's history.
I'll read this one again if you want. I have 2 more I can read, right?
Yeah, you can read this
I'll
one.
I'll just do this one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it says in 2019, the jihadist fundamentalist group Al-Shabaab, or Shabab, I don't know how to say this without butchering it, but Al-Shabaab sets off a truck in, a truck bomb in Mogadishu, Somalia. Sounds Japanese almost, but it's not.
It's African.
Killing at least 8. Oh wow. Yeah, killing at least 84 people and wounding over 150. That sounds awful. Why am I reading all that? Almost everything I read on here is always politically charged. Politically charged.
That's not intentional. It's just how the rolls work.
I know.
But like,
Yeah, I
said,
know.
There's one more article. If you want to take it, I'll be more than happy to torture the loon here over it. So, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, I'll read it. This is my last one.
All right.
Here. In 2021, Test cricket debutant Scott Boland takes 6 for 7 as Australia retained the Ashes 3-0 with an innings and 14-run win against England in the third test in Melbourne. I actually don't even know what any of these references mean. All I know is they're talking about.
What they're talking about. That's why I hate it.
All I know is they're talking about a game of cricket that was done in a sport somewhere.
Now, see,
I don't know.
like, as I say about cricket, if you read something about sports verbatim, but it still feels like you had a stroke, don't worry about it. It's just cricket. It doesn't
You
make
had
sense
a
at all.
stroke.
What the hell does ashes even mean? This is something new. What the hell?
Don't know.
So,
I don't know what that's supposed to represent. I
What
think it's like a
does
thing.
All I know is you have a flat bat and you bounce the ball
In
to
cricket.
yeah. Ashes, a symbol of victory, is a
So
usually biennial cricket test international match series. So it's a name of the play. Match
So
series,
basically means it was like a perfect win.
let me just read this whole thing. So, Ashes, aka the symbol of victory, is the usually biennial cricket test international match series between select national teams of England and Australia. First staged in 1877. Its name stems from an epitaph published in 1882 after the Australian team had won its first victory over England in England at the Oval in London. So that's where Ashes come from, I guess, question mark. Like, I don't know.
Why do we care?
No. Anyway, yeah, so, Mr. MTM, do you want to close us out here?
That concludes the show! Once again, check the underbar description below for any links. Any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. We're not just on Rumble or YouTube, we are also on BitChute and Odyssey for select shows. Links to those, our social medias, and more in our link tree. For your dose of past events, we stream almost every day at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Time, respectfully. West 11 and 3 for all for thee. Mountain 12 and 4, watch us more. Central 1 and 5 for the Contrive, and East 2 and 6, what you fix. Our other shows are This Day in History is the show.
You don't have to read
involving
all
events.
that, so.
Yeah.
I'd like him to. I want to say something after it.
So, okay. The Omni Coalition News Show, we're out on unusual notable events, whether in sports. On Freya's Day, Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time. The Edge of Disclosure.
That's with
THEOD with our friend Noah here, UFOlogy, Paranormal Conspiracy Peanut Style Show. Saturn's Day at 3 p.m. Pacific. Kicking the Peanut, KTP, talking about anything from the past week. Sun's Day at 3 p.m. Pacific Time. The Omni Coalition, the Omni Kitchen, excuse me. TOK, a cooking show, not live, uploaded randomly. And OSH, insert name of show here, reacting, reviewing movies, shows, anime, and not live uploaded randomly. But for all of you and all of us, I'm MTM, and today I was joined by...
Hey, Xander.
Noah.
Golden Loon.
And please remember to look left and right at both intersections and keep it safe.
Yep.
Doodles. Signing off.
Hold on a second. My other monitor froze. I have to move this over here to end the stream.
Okay,